Hi, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing how I would paint a moody, kind of Halloween-inspired floral bouquet. Now, I don't want to go too literal with the Halloween theme. I don't want this to be black and orange. I don't want spiders or spider webs or anything like that. I kind of want this to feel like it could work at any time of year. So I'm going to go more for the moody, deep, rich tones kind of floral. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you may have noticed that I kind of am loving the deep toned, moody florals lately. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Now I'm mixing some deep tones here. I've got, I'm going to mix quinacridone rose with alizarin crimson and perylene maroon. And then over here, I've got my violet, which I am blanking on the name. I want to say it's perylene violet, but I will have all of the exact colors listed down in the description box below. And then I'm just adding a little bit of black to both of these just to darken them up a hair. I don't usually add black to darken the colors, but since I'm going for a really deep, moody kind of look, then I'm okay with adding a little bit of black. And I'm just going to start with my maroon color up here and paint a rose. And while I'm painting this, I want to tell you about a new opportunity that I have. You may have heard of Patreon. A lot of YouTube creators have Patreon pages, and basically it's a way for you as my awesome audience to support the channel if you would like to, in exchange for some extra bonuses and rewards. So don't worry, I will still be releasing a new video every single week here on YouTube. That is not going away at all. But my YouTube channel is going to take a little bit of a shift. So rather than do a new flower video every single week, I'm going to be focusing on techniques and answering your questions and kind of doing deeper dives into flowers. So rather than a whole flower composition, I might focus on how to add leaves next to your roses or things like that that'll really help you learn. And then if you're still interested in getting those floral composition videos and those individual flower videos, then you may want to pay attention to what I have to offer for Patreon supporters. So there are 5 different tiers of the membership, and then depending on how much you donate, you'll get different things. And $20 is the most. That's the most expensive tier. And it ranges from $3 all the way up to $20. But for $3, you can get one new individual flower of the month step-by-step PDF guide. So what that means is on the first of each month, I will send you a PDF step-by-step guide on how to paint the flower of the month. I'm going to be focusing on one flower each month, and then everything on Patreon will kind of revolve around that. So, for instance, in November, the focus is going to be on roses. So the PDF guide will show you how to paint a side-facing rose and a front-facing rose, as well as a 3/4 facing rose. And then for $5, you get the PDF guide as well as a companion video that'll show you how to do that. So if you've downloaded my free flower pairing guide, you'll be a little bit familiar with the next thing I'm offering. So for the next tier up, you'll get the PDF guide, the companion video, as well as a flower pairing guide for the month. And then after that, you'll get a composition step-by-step PDF and a companion video for the composition. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then if you join the $20 tier, you also get access to a private members-only community where I'll have a Q&A and different live videos in there to help you learn how to paint watercolor flowers. So this is something I'm really, really excited about. If you feel like you want to join, I'll have a link down in the description box below. If not, keep watching these YouTube videos. Be sure to subscribe. It's totally free to watch on YouTube and learn. And I'm really grateful for your support, however you want to give that. So back to my flowers over here. I've started adding in some leaves. And I'm using a mixture of perylene green, sap green, and then yellow ochre to kind of give it that warmer yellow look. I don't want to add too many leaves right now because I think I'm going to add in some other little filler elements over here. So actually I'm going to take a break from adding leaves and I'm going to go in and add some berries in here. I like adding berries because they add a lot of texture and it doesn't take a lot of thought to add them in. You just kind of add in dots wherever and then you can go in and even things out with the branches and the greenery. So this is that perylene green. It's so pretty. This is a perfect green for getting those deep, deep greens. To get these little tiny leaves, I'm just really pressing down with my brush at an angle and then kind of pulling it upward to get that stem. I'm going to add in a little bit of quinacridone yellow. Quinacridone gold. I love this color to add into green. It just warms everything up. But I don't feel like it overpowers anything, which I like. Now I still have this weird kind of white gap in the center here, and everything's feeling kind of full around the outside, but in the center, I'm not really sure what's happening there. So Now I need to add in some sort of other filler. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of mimic this maroon color happening, but I want it to be just a little bit darker. So I'm adding in that purple that I've already got mixed. And then I'm just going to add in some smaller fillers in here. Sometimes this happens when I'm not planning on adding in filler, but then sometimes you just need to fill in some awkward gaps, and that's totally fine to do. And since I've got this leaf here, I'm just adding in these like half petals over here to give the illusion that there's a flower sitting behind it, but I'm not too worried about every single little detail. And actually, so that I don't have things just running down the center, I'm going to add in a couple over here too. Just so it doesn't feel like there's this maroon line running down the center. All right, I'll let those dry for a second before I add any additional details. Now the beauty of watercolor too is you can add one layer, and then if it's not quite dark enough, you can wait for that layer to dry and then add another layer. So that's what I'm going to do with some of these leaves. I like the color, but I think I want just a couple of them to look even deeper. So I've got my perylene green. Oop, that wasn't perylene green. That was a completely different green, but I'm just gonna run with it because I've already mixed it in. So some of these are gonna look a little bit more blue-green than I want, but that's okay. Just gonna sit that right over the top. Now, if I wanted to kind of offset that blue-green that I just added in on accident, I'm actually going to add in a little bit of this bright red-orange, and that's just going to mute that down. Because I actually don't want it to be that blue. I'm just going to touch in a little bit of that color. Now I'm leaving the center just that little line so that you can kind of see that defining shape. It's definitely a style choice. So if you want to fill in yours all the way, you can totally do that. All right, now with black, I'm gonna go in and add the center of my anemone. I'm also going to go in, just added a little bit more black to that color that I started with, just to add some depth to this rose. I'll also have a video linked down below if you want to see how I add depth to flowers. Now, if you want really fine lines, you want to hold your brush as upright as possible and then just barely press down. A lot of people will swap brushes and use a smaller fine brush, like a size 1, something like this, or a size 0 to get really fine lines, but I tend to just use one brush because, first of all, it's more cost effective to only need to use one brush. And I just like being able to get my whole painting out of just one brush. If you prefer to swap brushes as you go, do it. I like adding these lines just because I feel like they add a little bit of texture. And I totally smudged that. How did that happen? It's all good. Just adds character to the painting, right? Okay, now I'm gonna let this dry for just a moment, and I'm gonna break out my Brilliant Gold gouache. Never actually used this color before, so I'm really excited to try it out. I've been meaning to, I just haven't had a good project to use it with. So I'm excited. I love gold with deep jewel tones like this. And now for this, I actually am going to use a smaller brush because I don't want to go crazy with it. I don't mind as much with this because I don't care if I have a lot of this color everywhere. But with the gold, I want to be really careful about how much color I'm adding in, so I am going to swap to a smaller brush. And I'm just going to add gold to the centers of these kind of maroon filler flowers, just to add a little bit of a pop. I really love how this looks. I had heard good things about this gold, and what everyone says about it is true. It's a beautiful, beautiful gold. I wish you could see it in person. It's Brilliant Gold by Holbein. I'll have a link down below for you if you're interested in checking it out. It's so pretty. It's gonna be hard not to use this everywhere on this painting because it's so beautiful. I think I'll use it, I don't want to go crazy with the gold, so I'm cautious. I'm cautious to decide where I want to add a little bit more. I might add just a little bit. I don't know. We're gonna try this. It may not work, but I'm gonna try it. We're just gonna do a little bit of the detail in here. Not everywhere, just like a little touch to lighten it up just a little bit. Now don't let the name gouache scare you. It's basically watercolor. It's water-based, but it's just more opaque. I know I used to totally get freaked out when I heard the word gouache. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I can use that. I have no idea how to use it, but it's just like watercolor. So don't be afraid of it. It just doesn't have that translucent quality to it. Unless you added a ton of water, then it would look more translucent. Okay, just a couple more little splashes of gold and then I'm gonna call it good because, like I said, I don't want to overdo it. Okay, I'm just gonna add a couple more finishing details and then I'll call this done. So if you, again, are interested in checking out my Patreon page, I will leave a link down in the description box below. I would love your support there. But if not, I would love your support here too. You can support this channel by liking and commenting and subscribing. That really does help my channel grow and to reach more people. And stay tuned for next week's video. I am going to be sharing some warm-ups to do before you start painting your flowers so that you'll be all warmed up and ready to go. Hey, thanks again for watching. Bye!